Prologue. They tell you the mate bond is sacred, unbreakable, eternal. The moon goddess's greatest gift, a connection so profound that when you meet your fated mate, everything else falls away. You become two halves of one soul. They lied. I'm standing in the rain outside the Grand Cascade Hotel in Seattle, watching through floor-to-ceiling windows as my fated mate kisses my best friend. Not a gentle kiss. Not an accidental brush of lips. A claiming kiss. The kind that says mine. Her name is Stella. Was my best friend. The girl I shared secrets with, cried with, planned futures with. His name is Cade Thornwick, Alpha of the Emerald Moon Pack, the most powerful wolf in the Pacific Northwest. And 3 hours ago, in front of 200 witnesses, he rejected me. I, Cade Thornwick, Alpha of Emerald Moon, reject you, Quinera Stornal, as my fated mate. The words are still burning in my chest like acid. The mate bond, that sacred, unbreakable connection, is trying to kill me from the inside out. Rejection doesn't sever it cleanly. It leaves it there, rotting, a constant reminder of what you lost. I should leave. Should run. Should do anything except stand here watching them celebrate while I drown. But I can't move. Because I need to understand. Need to know why the moon goddess would give me someone perfect, then let him choose someone else. Need to know what I did wrong. I was 21 today. This was supposed to be the best day of my life. Instead, it's the day I learned that fate is just another word for cruel joke. Let me take you back. Back to the beginning. Back to when I still believed in happy endings. Chapter 1. 6 months earlier. Quinn, you're going to wear a hole in the floor. That was Stella, sprawled across my bed in my tiny apartment in Portland, watching me pace with amused eyes. She was beautiful, always had been. Honey blonde hair that fell in perfect waves, green eyes that sparkled with mischief, the kind of effortless grace that made people stop and stare. We'd been friends since we were 7, grew up in the same pack, survived the same awkward teenage years. She was the sister I never had. I can't help it, I said, running my hands through my dark hair for the 100th time. The mate bond could manifest any day now. What if I meet him, and I'm wearing sweatpants? What if I say something stupid? What if? What if you're spiraling over something you can't control? Stella interrupted, sitting up. Quinn, when you meet your mate, it won't matter what you're wearing or what you say. The bond will click into place, and everything will be perfect. That's how it works. Easy for you to say. You already found yours. She smiled, that soft, dreamy smile she got whenever she thought about Rory. He was a warrior in our pack, strong, loyal, devoted to her. They'd been mated for 2 years, and were disgustingly happy. And you'll find yours, she promised.
Soon.
I can feel it. You're glowing lately, Quinn. Like the moon goddess is already preparing you. I wanted to believe her. At 21, I was one of the last in my generation to remain unmated. Most wolves found their mates between 18 and 20. Every passing month made me more anxious, more worried that maybe I was broken somehow. That maybe the moon goddess had forgotten about me. What if he doesn't want me? I asked quietly. Stella was off the bed in an instant, gripping my shoulders. Stop. Don't do that to yourself. You're incredible, Quinn. Smart, strong, gorgeous. Any wolf would be lucky to call you mate. And your fated one will know that the second he sees you. You really think so? I know so. That was Stella. Always believing in me, even when I couldn't believe in myself. 2 days later, everything changed. Chapter 2. The Alpha Summit happened once a year in Seattle, a gathering of pack leaders from across the Western Territories to discuss politics, territory disputes, alliances. Boring alpha stuff that normally wouldn't involve someone like me. But this year, my father, Beta of the Silver Creek Pack, needed an assistant. His usual aide was sick. He asked me to come help with paperwork and note-taking. I almost said no. Spending 3 days in a hotel conference room while alphas argued about boundary lines sounded like torture. But then Stella said, "You should go. Who knows? Maybe you'll meet your mate there." So I went. The Grand Cascade Hotel was stunning, all glass and steel and luxury, overlooking Elliott Bay. Wolves from dozens of packs filled the lobby, powerful dominants whose auras made the air thick with energy. I felt out of place immediately. I wasn't powerful. Just a regular wolf with no special gifts, no impressive lineage. My father was beta only because he was smart and organized, not because he was particularly dominant. I was arranging papers in conference room B when I felt it. The pull. Sudden, overwhelming, impossible to ignore. Like a rope had been tied around my heart, and someone was tugging me forward.
Mate.
I dropped the papers. They scattered across the floor, but I didn't care. I couldn't think about anything except finding the source of that pull. I walked into the hallway like I was sleepwalking, following the sensation, letting it guide me. And then I saw him. He stood near the elevators, talking to two other alphas. Tall, easily 6'3", broad shoulders, athletic build. Dark hair that was slightly too long, falling over his forehead. Sharp features that would have been harsh except for the warmth in his eyes. Those eyes. Storm gray, intense, intelligent. He turned, and our gazes met. The mate bond snapped into place like a lightning strike. I felt everything, his surprise, his recognition, his instant possessive need. And I knew he felt mine too. This overwhelming certainty that I'd found the other half of my soul. He started walking toward me. I started walking toward him. We met in the middle of the hallway, and for a moment, we just stared. Mate, he breathed, his voice rough with emotion. Mate, I echoed, and I was crying, smiling, trembling. He reached up, cupped my face with hands that were gentle despite their size. I'm Cade, he said. Cade Thornwick, Alpha of Emerald Moon Pack. Quinera Stornal, I managed.
Quinn.
I'm just perfect, he finished. You're perfect.
And he kissed me.
The world disappeared. Nothing existed except him. Us. This connection that felt like coming home and discovering something brand new at the same time. When we finally pulled apart, he was smiling, this gorgeous, boyish smile that transformed his entire face. I've been waiting for you, he said. My whole life, I've been waiting. Me too. Come with me.
Please.
Let me take you somewhere we can talk, get to know each other. I want to know everything about you. I should have gone back to the conference room. Should have told my father where I was going. But the mate bond was singing in my chest, and Cade was looking at me like I was the most precious thing in the world. So I went. Chapter 3. The next 7 days were magic. Cade was everything. Attentive, romantic, funny in ways that surprised me. He took me to Pike Place Market, and we ate fish and chips by the water. Walked through the Seattle Art Museum, and he told me about growing up as an alpha son, the pressure and responsibility he'd carried since childhood. I always knew I'd lead the pack, he said, lacing his fingers through mine. But I also knew I couldn't do it alone. An alpha needs his Luna, his mate, someone who balances him, challenges him, makes him better. And you think I'm that person? He stopped walking, turned to face me. Quinn, I don't think.
I know.
The moon goddess doesn't make mistakes. She gave you to me because together we're stronger than we could ever be apart. I believed him. We talked for hours. About pack politics and favorite books and childhood dreams. About his vision for Emerald Moon, modernizing without losing tradition, creating opportunities for lower-ranking wolves, building alliances instead of fighting territorial wars. Most alphas rule through fear, he said. I want to rule through respect. But that's a radical idea in the wolf world. I need a Luna who understands that, who can help me reshape what pack leadership looks like. You really think I could do that? I know you can. You're smart, empathetic, strategic. You see solutions where others see only problems. That's exactly what I need. Every word felt like a gift. Like he was seeing parts of me I'd never even acknowledged. On the 4th night, we went to the Space Needle. Stood at the observation deck, looking out over the city lights while the mate bond hummed contentedly between us. I love you, Cade said suddenly. I know it's fast, but with the mate bond, how can I not? You're mine, Quinn. And I'm yours. Forever. I love you too, I whispered. He kissed me then, slow and deep and claiming. When he pulled back, his eyes had shifted to wolf gold. I want to mark you, he said, his voice rough. Make this official. Introduce you to my pack, as my Luna. Will you let me? This was it. The moment every unmated wolf dreamed of. The claiming, the marking, the permanent bond that would tie us together for life. Yes, I breathed. Yes, Cade. I'm yours. And I'm yours, he said. Always. He lowered his head to my neck, and I felt his canines lengthen. Then my phone rang.
Stella.
I almost ignored it, but something made me answer. Quinn.
Her voice was panicked.
Where are you? Your father's been looking everywhere. There's an emergency pack meeting, and are you okay? You sound weird. I'm fine, I said, still floating in the mate bond haze. Better than fine. Stella, I found him. My mate. He's. Oh my God, that's amazing. But seriously, you need to come back. Your father is freaking out. Cade pulled back, concern crossing his face. What's wrong? Pack emergency. I have to go. I'll come with you. No, it's fine. It's probably nothing serious. But I should. Go, he said, pressing a kiss to my forehead. Handle your pack business. But Quinn, come back to me tomorrow. We'll finish this. The marking, the bond, everything. Tomorrow, I promised. I had no idea that tomorrow would be the day my world ended. Chapter 4. The pack emergency was minor, a territorial dispute with a neighboring pack that got resolved through negotiation. But by the time it was handled, it was nearly midnight. I texted Cade. Sorry. Pack stuff took forever. See you tomorrow? His response came immediately. Can't wait. Sleep well, my Luna. I fell asleep smiling. The mate bond a warm glow in my chest. The next morning, I woke to 17 missed calls from Stella. My stomach dropped. I called her back. She answered on the first ring.
Quinn.
Thank God. Where are you?
Home.
What's wrong? You sound. I need to see you.
Now.
Can you come to my place? Stella, what?
Please.
Just come. 20 minutes later, I was knocking on her door. She opened it immediately, and I barely recognized her. Her eyes were red from crying, her face pale, her hands shaking. What happened? I demanded. Is it Rory? Is he? Rory and I broke up, she said flatly.
What? Why?
You were perfect together. I met my real mate. The world tilted. But Rory was your mate. You've been mated for 2 years. He was a chosen mate, Stella said, her voice breaking. We thought we were fated because we felt a connection. But then I met him. My actual fated mate. And Quinn, the bond, it's nothing like what I had with Rory. It's so much more powerful, so much more right. I should have been happy for her. Should have congratulated her. But something cold was spreading through my chest. Who is he? I asked quietly. Stella looked at me then, and in her eyes I saw guilt, pain, and something that looked like apology. Cade Thornwick. The name hit me like a physical blow. That's not funny. It's not a joke. Stella, Cade is my mate.
Mine.
We, the bond. He was going to mark me. He felt it too, she whispered. Yesterday. We ran into each other at the hotel, and the bond snapped into place.
Quinn, I'm so sorry.
But he's mine. The moon goddess chose him for me.
No.
I was backing away, shaking my head. No, that's impossible. I felt the bond. He felt it. We're mates. I know you felt something, Stella said gently. But maybe it was just attraction? Maybe you wanted it so badly you convinced yourself. Don't. The word came out sharp. Don't do that. Don't gaslight me. I know what the mate bond feels like. Cade is mine. Then why does the bond lead me to him? Stella asked. Why can I feel his emotions, his presence? Why did he tell me he's never felt anything like this? Because it wasn't possible. The mate bond couldn't form with two different people. It was singular, unique, unbreakable. Unless I was wrong. Unless what I felt wasn't real. I pressed my hand to my chest where the bond lived, trying to feel Cade. And still felt that connection, that pull. But when I reached through it, I felt confusion, conflict, and guilt. He knew. Cade knew about Stella. Where is he? I asked. Quinn.
Where is he?
He's at the hotel. But you shouldn't. I was already out the door. Chapter 5. I found Cade in the hotel bar, sitting alone at a corner table, head in his hands. He looked up when I approached, and the guilt in his eyes confirmed everything. Quinn, he said, standing. We need to talk. About how you're mated to my best friend? He flinched.
Sit.
Please. I sat, but only because my legs were shaking too badly to stand. I don't understand, Cade said, his voice rough. I felt the bond with you. I swear I did. It was real, Quinn. Everything we shared was real. But then I met Stella yesterday, and it was like he stopped, struggling for words. Like the bond with you is a candle, and the bond with her is the sun. Overwhelming, undeniable. I can't explain it. I didn't want it, but I can't fight it either.
Each word was a knife.
So, what you felt with me was fake?
No.
Not fake. He reached for my hand. I pulled away. Just not the true mate bond. Maybe we have a connection. Maybe we could have been something, but Stella, she's my fated mate. The moon goddess chose her for me. The moon goddess chose me, I said, and I hated how my voice broke. I felt it, Cade. The pull, the recognition, the certainty. That wasn't imagination. I know, and I felt it too. But now I'm feeling something stronger with someone else, and I don't know how to explain that except that maybe what we had was what? A mistake? A false bond? A trick? Maybe, he said helplessly. I don't know. But Quinn, I can't deny what I'm feeling for Stella. And she can't either.
We tried.
Spent all of yesterday trying to figure out how to walk away from each other. But the bond won't let us. It's too strong. So that's it? You're just choosing her? I'm choosing my fated mate, Cade said quietly. Like any wolf would. Like you would if you felt what I'm feeling. I did feel it. With you. He looked away. I'm sorry, Quinn. I truly am. If there was any other way. There is another way. You could choose me. Bond or no bond. You could choose me. But that wouldn't be fair to you. You'd spend your whole life knowing I was mated to someone else, feeling me pull toward her. That's not the life you deserve. And watching you with my best friend is? Silence. Then Cade said, The Alpha Council is meeting tonight. I have to make an official announcement about my mate. About my future Luna. Don't, I whispered. Please, Cade. Don't do this. I have to. The pack needs a Luna. And Stella, she's meant for this. She's strong, confident, perfect for the role. You said it yourself, she's amazing. I know she's amazing. She's my best friend. And you're taking her from me. I'm not taking her. The moon goddess gave her to me. Then what does that make me? He didn't answer. Because we both knew. It made me nothing.
A mistake.
A false connection. The girl who thought she'd found her mate only to discover she'd never had one at all. I'm sorry, Cade said again. I wish things were different, but they're not.
No.
They're not. I stood on shaking legs. For what it's worth, I said, I really did love you. I thought we were forever. I loved you too, Cade said, and he looked like he meant it. In my own way, but what I feel for Stella is stronger. I know. You've made that clear. I walked out of the bar, through the hotel lobby, out into the Seattle rain. And I didn't cry. Not yet. Because tonight was the Alpha Council meeting. Tonight, Cade would announce Stella as his mate. And tonight, I'd lose everything. Chapter 6. I shouldn't have gone to the meeting. But I had to see it. Had to watch it happen. had to witness the exact moment my life officially ended. The council chamber was packed. Over 200 wolves, every alpha and beta from the Western Territories, all gathered for the closing ceremony of the summit. I stood in the back, hidden among the crowd. Cade stood on the stage, commanding in a dark suit, every inch the powerful alpha. Beside him stood Stella, gorgeous in a silver dress, glowing with happiness. They looked perfect together. The head of the Alpha Council, an ancient wolf named Aldrich, raised his hands for silence. We gather tonight to witness Alpha Cade Thornwick of Emerald Moonpack formally announce his mate bond and introduce his future Luna. Applause rippled through the crowd. Cade stepped forward, and when he spoke, his voice carried through the chamber with alpha authority. 2 days ago, the moon goddess blessed me with the greatest gift, my fated mate. He looked at Stella. She smiled. Her name is Stella Markov. She is strong, intelligent, compassionate. Everything a Luna should be. And I am honored beyond words that she is mine. More applause. Wolves were already congratulating them. But before I can claim her officially, Cade continued, I need to address something. The room quieted. Before I met Stella, I believed I'd found my mate in another wolf. Quinnera Stornal. Every eye turned to search the crowd. I froze, trapped. I felt a connection with her. A strong one. And I let myself believe it was the mate bond. I made promises I can't keep. Gave her hope I can't fulfill. He was looking at me now. I could feel his gaze even from across the room. Quinnera, if you're here, I want you to know I'm sorry. What we had was real, but it wasn't the mate bond. And I can't build a life on anything less than what the moon goddess intended. Murmurs spread through the crowd. Pity, curiosity, judgment. Therefore, Cade said, his voice taking on the formal cadence of pack law, I, Cade Thornwick, Alpha of Emerald Moon, officially reject any claim Quinnera Stornal may believe she has on me as a mate. She is released from any bond, real or perceived, that exists between us. The words hit like a physical blow. Pack rejection. Official, public, witnessed by every alpha in the territory. It wasn't just ending our relationship. It was humiliating me in front of everyone who mattered. And now, Cade said, turning BAC. Cade Estella, I claim my true mate. He pulled her close, tilted her head to expose her neck, and bit down. The claiming mark. Permanent, magical, binding. Stella gasped, arching into him, and even from across the room, I could feel the power of the bond snapping into place between them. The crowd erupted in cheers. And I felt the bond I'd had with Cade, that connection I'd thought was sacred, crack apart like shattered glass. Not severed cleanly. Broken. Ragged. Leaving pieces embedded in my chest that would hurt every time I breathed. I ran. Pushed through the crowd, ignoring voices calling my name, ignoring my father trying to reach for me. I made it outside into the rain, and I fell to my knees on the wet pavement. And finally I cried. Because I'd lost my mate, my best friend, and my dignity all in one night. Because everyone now knew I'd been rejected publicly by an alpha. Because the mate bond I'd felt was apparently never real. Because I was 21 years old and already broken beyond repair. I stayed there in the rain, drowning in pain, until I felt someone approach. Not my father. Not Stella. Someone else. Someone whose presence felt like lightning, dangerous, powerful, impossible to ignore. I looked up. A man stood over me, holding an umbrella, looking down with eyes that gleamed silver in the streetlight. He was stunning. Tall, muscular, dark hair, sharp features that were somehow both brutal and beautiful. He wore an expensive suit like armor and radiated dominance that made even the rain seem to bend around him. You're in pain, he said. Not a question. An observation. Yes, I managed. Good. I blinked, confused. He crouched down, bringing himself to my level, and tilted my chin up with one finger. Pain means you're still fighting. Still alive. Most wolves who get rejected like that, publicly, humiliatingly, they break. Roll over. Accept their place. Maybe I'm broken too.
No.
His eyes. Silver, intense, ancient, bored into mine. You're angry. I can see it underneath the tears. Anger is useful. Anger can be shaped into power. Who are you? Draylen Bexford, he said. Alpha of the Crimson Shadow Pack in New York. And I have a proposition for you. I'm not interested in. Not that kind of proposition, he interrupted, amused. I'm offering you revenge. That got my attention. What? I saw what happened in there. Watched that fool reject you in front of the council. Publicly humiliate you. And I thought, what a waste. He studied me like I was a puzzle. You have something, Quinera Stornal. Spirit, fire, strength that Alpha couldn't see because he was too busy looking at your shinier friend. Huh. How do you know my name? I make it my business to know things. Especially about wolves who get thrown away by idiots. He stood, offering his hand. Come with me. Let me train you, mold you, turn you into something those Seattle wolves will regret overlooking. When I'm done, you'll be powerful enough to walk back into that council chamber and make them all kneel. Why would you help me? Because I'm petty, he said with a sharp smile. And I enjoy proving that Western alphas are fools. Plus, I need a Luna, and you need a purpose. We can help each other. I'm not going to be your mate.
Good.
I don't want you as my mate. I want you as my queen. There's a difference. One is about fate. The other is about choice. I looked at his outstretched hand. Looked back at the hotel where my former mate was probably celebrating with my former best friend. Looked at the life I'd thought I'd have dissolving into nothing. Draylen was offering me something else. Not comfort, not love, but power. Purpose. A chance to become something more than the girl who got rejected. What do you get out of this? I asked. A Luna who chose me instead of being forced by a bond. An alpha needs a strong partner, Quinera. I've been searching for years and haven't found one. But watching you in that council chamber, watching you hold yourself together while your world shattered, I thought, there she is. The wolf who refuses to break. I'm breaking now. You're crying. That's different. Crying is release. Breaking is giving up. And you haven't given up. If you had, you wouldn't be asking questions. You'd just be drowning. He was right. Underneath the pain, underneath the heartbreak, I was furious. Furious at Cade for choosing Stella. Furious at Stella for taking him. Furious at the moon goddess for giving me a bond that apparently wasn't real. And fury was better than despair. If I come with you, I said slowly, I want one thing. Name it. I want to become powerful enough that Cade Thornwick regrets ever letting me go. That he looks at me someday and realizes he threw away a queen to claim a princess. Draylen's smile turned predatory.
Done.
Now take my hand and let's go build you an empire. I took his hand, and I let him pull me out of the rain. Chapter 7. The Crimson Shadow Pack territory was in Manhattan, because of course Draylen Bexford would rule the most powerful city on the East Coast. His pack house was a penthouse in Midtown, all glass and steel and luxury that screamed power and money. Welcome home, he said as we stepped off the private elevator into his domain. This isn't my home. Not yet. Give it time. He led me through the penthouse, showing me the gym, the library, the training rooms, the balcony overlooking Central Park. Your room, he said, opening a door to a suite that was bigger than my entire Portland apartment. You'll find clothes in the closet, toiletries in the bathroom. Everything you need. Why are you doing this? He turned to face me, his silver eyes unreadable. Because I see potential in you. Because I'm building something here. A pack that doesn't rely on outdated hierarchy and force bonds. I need wolves who choose this life, who fight for it, who refuse to accept what fate hands them. And you think I'm that wolf? I know you are. You got rejected in the most humiliating way possible, and instead of crawling home to lick your wounds, you got in a car with a dangerous alpha you just met and drove 3,000 miles. That's not the behavior of someone who's broken. That's the behavior of someone who's ready to burn the world down and rebuild it better. I don't want to burn the world. I just want to stop hurting. Then let me teach you how to turn pain into power, Draylen said. Starting tomorrow. Tomorrow came too fast. Chapter 8. Draylen wasn't gentle. He woke me at 5 in the morning, dragged me to the training room, and proceeded to kick my ass for 3 hours straight. You're slow, he said, dodging my punch easily. Predictable. Any wolf could read your moves a mile away. I'm doing my best. Your best is pathetic. Again. I lunged. He sidestepped, swept my legs, and I hit the mat hard. Stop fighting like you're apologizing for existing, Draylen said, standing over me. Stop pulling your punches. Stop being afraid of taking up space. I'm not. You are. Every move you make is defensive, reactive. You're so used to making yourself small that you've forgotten how to be dangerous. Maybe I'm not dangerous. Everyone is dangerous if they're desperate enough. And right now, you should be desperate. You lost your mate, your friend, your dignity. You should be furious. So where's the fury, Quinera? I don't know. Find it. Because until you do, you're useless to me. He walked away, leaving me on the mat, breathing hard. And something inside me cracked. I stood up, stalked after him, and hit him. Really hit him. Put everything I had into the punch. All the rage, all the pain, all the humiliation. He blocked it, but barely. His eyes widened with something like approval.
There it is, he said.
There's the wolf I saw in Seattle. Now, do it again. We trained for months. Combat, strategy, pack politics, power dynamics. Draylen pushed me harder than anyone ever had. Didn't coddle me, didn't make excuses for me, didn't treat me like I was fragile. He treated me like I was dangerous, like I was capable, like I was worth the effort. And slowly, impossibly, I started to believe it. You're getting better, he said one evening. We were sparring, and I'd actually managed to land a hit. Faster, smarter, less afraid. I'm still not strong enough to take on Cade. Cade is a decent alpha, but he's conventional. Predictable. He fights with honor, plays by the rules. You don't need to match his strength. You need to outthink him. Use his honor against him.
How?
By becoming everything he threw away. By being so undeniably powerful that every alpha in the Western Territories questions his judgment. By making him watch while you build an empire he could have been part of. That's not revenge. That's just success. Success is the best revenge, Draylen said. Trust me. But training wasn't just physical. Draylen also taught me about pack leadership, about the political games alphas played, about how to command loyalty without demanding submission. Most alphas rule through fear, he said. They dominate, control, crush anyone who challenges them. But fear only works until someone stronger comes along. Respect, real respect, that lasts. And how do you earn respect? By being worth following. By making your pack's lives better, not just ordering them around. By proving you care about more than just your own power. It was the same philosophy Cade had talked about. The difference was Draylen actually lived it. His pack adored him. Not because they were forced to, but because he'd built something worth being part of. A pack where Omegas had opportunities, where females could be warriors, where hierarchy mattered less than competence. Why aren't you mated? I asked one night. We were on his balcony, sharing whiskey, watching the city lights. Because I haven't found someone worth choosing, he said simply. I've had offers, plenty of them. Wolves who want the power that comes with being my Luna. But I don't want someone who wants the title. I want someone who wants the work, the challenge, the partnership. And you think I'm that person? He looked at me, his silver eyes intense. I think you could be, if you wanted to be. I don't want a mate bond.
Good.
Neither do I. Mate bonds are fate's way of taking choice away from us. I'd rather choose my partner and know she chose me back. So this is what? A political arrangement? It's a partnership. You become my Luna, help me run this pack, and in return, you get power, protection, and the satisfaction of becoming exactly what Cade Thornwick threw away. It should have felt cold, transactional. But looking at Draylen, At this alpha who'd taken a broken, rejected wolf and helped her become strong. It felt like something else. It felt like respect. "I'll think about it," I said. He smiled. "Take all the time you need. I'm patient."
Chapter 9.
I'd been in New York for a year when the invitation arrived. The annual Alpha Summit. Happening in Seattle again. Draylen brought it to me over breakfast, his expression carefully neutral. "We don't have to go," he said. "I can send a proxy." I looked at the invitation. Formal, elegant, requesting the presence of Alpha Draylen Vexford and his Luna. His Luna, because 3 months ago, I'd accepted his offer. Become his partner, his co-alpha, his chosen mate, no bond, no fate, just choice. And I'd never been happier.
"We're going," I said.
"Are you sure?"
"Kate will be there."
"And Stella." "I know. That's why we're going." Because I wasn't the same wolf who'd run from Seattle in the rain. Because I wasn't the same wolf who'd run from Seattle in the rain. I'd spent a year becoming someone new. Someone stronger. Someone who didn't flinch at the name Cade Thornwick. Draylen studied me across the breakfast table, his silver eyes calculating. "You want to show them what they lost." "I want to show them I survived. There's a difference." "Is there?" He leaned back, a slight smile playing at his lips. "Because the Quinera I met a year ago wanted revenge. Wanted to make them hurt the way they hurt her. And now I just want them to see I'm fine without them. Better than fine." "Liar," Draylen said, but there was warmth in his voice. "You want them to choke on their regrets."
"Admit it."
I smiled despite myself. "Maybe a little." "Good. Revenge is a powerful motivator. Just don't let it consume you. We go to Seattle. We remind them what fools they were, and then we come home.
This is our life now.
Not theirs. Our life." The Crimson Shadow Pack had become home in ways Silver Creek never had. Here, I wasn't just the Beta's daughter or Stella's friend or the girl who got rejected. I was Luna, co-alpha, Draylen's partner, and I'd earned every bit of that respect. "When do we leave?" I asked. 3 days. I'll have the jet ready." Of course he had a private jet. Draylen Vexford didn't do anything halfway. Chapter 10. Seattle looked exactly the same. Gray skies, rain-slicked streets, the space needle piercing the clouds. But I was different. The woman who stepped off Draylen's private jet wore a tailored black suit that cost more than I used to make in a month. My dark hair was longer now, styled in sleek waves. I'd learned to carry myself like I owned every room I walked into because according to Draylen, I did. "Ready?" he asked, offering his arm. I took it, feeling the solid strength of him beside me. Ready. The summit was at the same hotel, the Grand Cascade, where I'd met Cade, where I'd thought I'd found forever, where everything had shattered. Walking through those doors should have hurt. Instead, I felt nothing but cold satisfaction. Let them see what I'd become. The lobby was packed with wolves, alphas, betas, warriors, all mingling before the opening ceremony. Conversations stopped as we entered. Heads turned, eyes widened. Because Draylen Vexford was infamous. The ruthless alpha who'd turned Crimson Shadow into the most powerful pack on the East Coast. The wolf who played political games like chess and always won. And I was beside him. His Luna. His equal. "Alpha Vexford," someone said. "Aldrich, the head of the Alpha Council. We're honored by your presence." "And this must be your Luna?" "Quinera Stornal Vexford," Draylen said smoothly, his hand resting possessively on my lower back. "My mate, my partner, my queen." Aldrich's eyes widened in recognition. "Miss Stornal? I didn't realize you've changed." "I grew up," I said coolly. "It happens when you're forced to." A ripple of understanding passed through the nearby wolves. They remembered the public rejection, the humiliation, the girl who'd run crying into the rain. Now she stood before them in designer clothes, dripping confidence, partnered with one of the most dangerous alphas alive. Quinn. That voice. I'd know it anywhere. I turned slowly, deliberately, and there she was.
Stella.
She looked the same, beautiful, glowing, wearing a silver dress that probably cost a fortune. But there was something different in her eyes. Uncertainty. Maybe even fear. "Stella," I said neutrally. "You look well. I didn't know you'd be here." "No one told me." She glanced at Draylen, swallowed hard. "Alpha Vexford. It's an honor." "Is it?" Draylen's voice was silk over steel. "Strange. I don't typically consider it an honor to meet wolves who betray their friends." Stella flinched. I didn't mean to." "Quinn, please.
Can we talk?
Alone." "No," I said simply.
Please."
"I've been trying to reach you for a year. You blocked my number, ignored my letters. Because I had nothing to say to you. But we were best friends."
Sisters.
"You can't just throw away 15 years of friendship because you took my mate?" I interrupted, my voice sharp enough to cut. "Because you kissed him knowing I'd felt the bond? Because you stood beside him while he rejected me in front of 200 witnesses?" Stella's eyes filled with tears. "I didn't know what else to do. The mate bond, it was so strong, Quinn. I couldn't fight it. Neither could Cade. We tried. I swear we tried. But you didn't try hard enough," I finished. "You chose the bond over me. That's fine. That was your choice. But don't expect me to forgive it just because you feel guilty. I don't want your forgiveness. I want my friend back." "Your friend died the night you took her mate," I said coldly. "What's standing here now is someone else. Someone who learned that friendship means nothing compared to fate. Someone who stopped believing in loyalty." "Quinn. Luna Quinnera," Draylen corrected, his voice dangerous. "You'll address her by her proper title. She's not your friend anymore. She's my Luna, and you'll show her the respect that position demands." Stella stepped back, properly chastised. And I felt nothing. No satisfaction, no pain, no anger. Just cold emptiness where our friendship used to live. "If you'll excuse us," I said, turning away. "We have a council meeting to attend." I walked away without looking back, Draylen beside me, leaving Stella standing alone in the lobby. "You handled that well," Draylen murmured. "I've had a year to practice." Still, seeing her must have hurt.
It did.
But not as much as I expected. "Maybe I really have moved on. Or maybe," Draylen said, "you're just saving your energy for the real confrontation." He was right, because Cade was somewhere in this hotel, and eventually, I'd have to face him. Chapter 11. The opening ceremony was in the same council chamber where I'd been rejected. I walked in beside Draylen, head high, refusing to show any weakness. The room fell silent as we entered. And there, on the stage with the other territory alphas, stood Cade Thornwick. He looked older, tired, still handsome, but something had dimmed in him. The easy confidence I remembered was strained now, forced. His eyes found mine across the room, and I watched the shock register. Watched him recognize me, process who I was beside, understand what had happened. I smiled, cold, sharp, victorious. And I took my seat beside Draylen in the section reserved for mated alpha pairs. The ceremony began. Aldrich gave a speech about unity, cooperation, the strength of the Western Wolf territories. I barely listened. I was too aware of Cade's gaze burning into me from across the room. When Aldrich called for new business, Draylen stood. "I have an announcement," he said, his voice carrying through the chamber with alpha authority. Every eye turned to him. "As many of you know, I've been searching for a Luna for years. Many packs offered their daughters, their sisters, their finest females. I turned them all down." He looked down at me, his expression softer than usual. "Because I was waiting for someone extraordinary. Someone strong enough to stand beside me, not behind me. Someone who earned her position through merit, not bloodline." He held out his hand. I took it, standing beside him. "I found her," Draylen continued. "Quinnera Stornelvexford. My chosen mate, my Luna, my partner in all things. She's transformed Crimson Shadow, revolutionized how we handle Omega rights, strengthened our alliances across the Eastern Territories. She's brilliant, strategic, and powerful in ways that have nothing to do with Magic or dominance? His eyes swept the room, landing deliberately on Cade. She's everything an alpha could ask for in a mate. And I consider myself the luckiest wolf alive that she chose me. The room erupted in polite applause. But Cade looked like he'd been punched. Because Draylen had just done to him exactly what he'd done to me, publicly claimed a mate in front of a council. Except this time the message was clear. Look what you threw away. Look what I found. We sat down. Draylen squeezed my hand. Too much, he murmured. Perfect, I whispered back. The ceremony continued, but I could feel Cade's emotions. Even without a bond, alpha energy was readable to other alphas. And he was radiating distress, anger, and something that felt suspiciously like regret.
Good.
Let him regret. Chapter 12. I made it through dinner without incident. Sat at the head table beside Draylen, made polite conversation with other alphas, played the role of perfect Luna. Cade sat across the room with Stella. They looked like the golden couple everyone expected, beautiful, powerful, perfectly matched. But I noticed things. The way Stella reached for his hand, and he pulled away. The way his attention kept drifting toward me. The way she smiled too brightly, like she was trying to convince everyone, including herself, that everything was perfect. After dinner, I excused myself to the balcony. Needed air, needed space from the suffocating politeness. I should have known he'd follow. Quinn. I didn't turn around. It's Luna Quinera now. Or, did you forget that part? I didn't forget. Cade's voice was rough, strained. I needed to talk to you. Alone. We have nothing to discuss. We have everything to discuss. He moved closer. I could feel his presence like a physical weight. You're mated to Draylen Vexford. You're Luna of Crimson Shadow. You're not the same person I knew. Good. The person you knew was weak. Easily discarded. That's not, Quinn, I never thought you were weak. No. I finally turned to face him. Then why did you choose Stella? Why did you reject me in front of everyone? Why did you humiliate me like that? Because I felt the mate bond with her, Cade said desperately. What was I supposed to do?
Deny it?
Pretend it didn't exist. You could have rejected her privately. Could have spared me the public humiliation. Could have shown me even a shred of respect after everything we shared. I thought I was being honest. Thought the pack needed to see. You thought you needed to justify yourself, I interrupted. Needed to make sure everyone knew it wasn't your fault. That you were just following the mate bond. That I was the problem, not you. That's not true. Isn't it? You stood on that stage and told 200 wolves that what we had wasn't real. That I'd convinced myself of something that didn't exist. You made me look delusional, Cade. Made me look like the pathetic girl who couldn't accept reality. He flinched. I'm sorry. I didn't mean. I was trying to explain. You were covering your ass, I said flatly. And you know what? I don't even blame you anymore. You did what you thought you had to do. But don't stand here now and pretend it was anything other than self-preservation. Is that why you mated Vexford? To get back at me? I laughed, sharp and bitter. You think I built an entire life in New York just to spite you? That I became Luna of one of the most powerful packs in the country because I was petty? Didn't you?
No.
I did it because Draylen saw value in me when you couldn't. Because he gave me a chance to become something more than your rejected mate. Because he respected me enough to let me choose him instead of forcing a bond. So, you don't have a mate bond with him?
No.
We chose each other. Consciously, deliberately, without fate forcing our hands. And, honestly, it's better than any mate bond could be. Cade's face twisted. You're lying. The mate bond is sacred. It's the moon goddess's gift. Nothing can be better than being forced to love someone whether you want to or not. I interrupted. Than being bound to someone who might be completely wrong for you? Than having no choice in who you spend your life with. It's not like that. Isn't it? You felt the bond with Stella, and you had no choice but to follow it. Even though it meant destroying me. Even though it meant losing what we had. The bond made you, Cade. You didn't choose Stella. Fate chose her for you. And that's wrong. It's not wrong. It's just not choice. And I've learned that choice matters more than destiny. Silence fell between us. The rain had started again, pattering against the balcony railing. I miss you, Cade said quietly. Every day. I look at Stella, and I see you. I think about what we could have had if. Don't, I said sharply. Don't you dare stand there mated to my best friend and tell me you miss me. You made your choice, Cade. You don't get to regret it now. But I do regret it. The bond with Stella, it's not what I thought it would be. It's strong, yes, but it's also, he struggled for words. Suffocating. Consuming. Like I can't think clearly because the bond is always there, always pulling, always demanding. And she's not you, Quinn. She doesn't challenge me, doesn't push back, just agrees with everything I say because the bond makes her want to please me. That sounds like a personal problem. I think I made a mistake. The words hung in the air between us, and I felt absolutely nothing.
Too bad, I said.
You marked her. You claimed her in front of the council. You're bound to her for life. So, I guess you'll have to live with your mistake. Unless, he stepped closer. Unless you help me. You're powerful now, Quinn. Vexford must have taught you things. Maybe there's a way to sever the bond. Maybe we could. Could what? Get back together? I laughed incredulously. You really think after everything you've done, after how you humiliated me, after choosing Stella over me, that I'd help you break your mate bond? That I'd take you back? I'm your fated mate, Cade said desperately. You felt it. I know you did. That doesn't just disappear. You're right. I felt something. But you rejected me, Cade.
Publicly.
Officially. Whatever bond one might have felt. You destroyed it. And I've moved on. To Vexford. To Draylen. I corrected. To a partner who respects me. To a life that I chose instead of one fate forced on me. And I'm happy, Cade. Genuinely, completely happy. Which is more than you can say. His face crumpled.
Please.
Don't do this. Don't throw away what we had just because you're angry. I'm not angry anymore, I said honestly. I'm grateful. Because if you hadn't rejected me, I'd never have found Draylen. Never have become Luna. Never have discovered I could be more than just someone's mate. So thank you, Cade Thornwick. Thank you for being cruel enough to set me free. I walked past him, heading for the door. Quinn, wait. It's Luna Quinera, I said without turning around. And we're done here. I left him standing in the rain. Chapter 13. I found Draylen in our hotel suite, working on pack documents. He looked up when I entered, his silver eyes scanning me with concern. How did it go? He wants me back. Draylen's expression went cold. Excuse me? Says he made a mistake. That the bond with Stella isn't what he thought.
That he misses me.
I collapsed onto the couch beside him. He actually asked me to help him sever his mate bond, so we could be together. Draylen cut himself off, visibly controlling his anger. What did you tell him? That he could live with his choices. That I'd moved on. That I was happy with you. Are you happy with me? I looked at him, really looked, at the alpha who'd saved me when I was broken, who'd trained me to be strong, who'd given me a place to belong without demanding anything except honesty. Yes, I said. I really am. Something in his expression softened. Good. Because I'm happy with you too. This arrangement, it's become more than I expected. You're more than I expected. More how? He set aside his papers, turning to face me fully. I told you I wanted a Luna who chose the work, the partnership, the challenge.
And you've been all that.
But somewhere along the way, you also became my friend. My confidant. The person I trust most in the world. He paused. I'm not asking for a mate bond.
I don't want one.
But I am asking if what we have, this chosen partnership, if it's enough for you. Because it's more than enough for me. My chest tightened with emotion. It's enough, I whispered. More than enough. He pulled me close, and I settled against his chest, feeling safe in ways I'd never felt with Cade. Then we're done with Seattle, Draylen said. After tomorrow's closing ceremony, we go home. Back to New York, back to our pack, back to the life we built. Cade Thornwick is your past. I'm your present and your future. If you want me to be. I want you to be, I said. We stayed like that, wrapped in each other, letting the world outside fade away. I should have known it was too perfect to last. The knock came at midnight. Draylen answered the door, his body tense with alpha instincts. I stood behind him, prepared for anything. Except for who was standing there. My father. Beta Thomas Stornell of Silver Creek Pack. Looking older than I remembered, his face drawn with worry.
Dad.
Quinera. Thank God. He pushed into the room, barely acknowledging Draylen. I've been trying to reach you for hours.
We need to talk.
It's about Stella. Ice flooded my veins. What about her? She's pregnant. The room spun. That's good for her, I guess. Why are you telling me? My father's expression twisted with something that looked like shame. Because the child isn't Cade's. Time stopped. What? She's been having an affair. With Rory, her ex-mate. They never really stopped seeing each other after she bonded with Cade.
And now?
He ran his hand through his hair. Now she's pregnant, and the timing doesn't match up. Cade will know it's not his. I couldn't process the words. Couldn't make sense of what he was saying. Stella cheated on Cade? For months, apparently. The mate bond. It wasn't enough for her. She missed what she had with Rory. So he shook his head. She made a mistake, Quinera. A terrible one. And when Cade finds out, he'll reject her. I finished. The way he rejected me.
Worse.
Infidelity from a marked mate. That's grounds for complete exile. She'll be packless. Powerless. She came to me begging for help. Said you were the only one who might understand. Who might be able to intervene with Cade. I started laughing.
Couldn't help it.
The sound was bitter, sharp, a little unhinged. She wants my help? After everything she did. She's desperate. And she was your friend, Quinn. Your sister, in all the ways that mattered. I know she hurt you, but nothing, I interrupted. She made her choices. She wanted Cade so badly, she destroyed our friendship to get him. And now that she has him, she's throwing him away for someone else? That's not my problem, Dad. Quinera.
No.
I stood, drawing myself up to full Luna height. I spent a year recovering from what she did to me. A year rebuilding myself from nothing. And you come here asking me to help her? To save her from the consequences of her own actions. I'm asking you to be merciful. To be the bigger person. I was the bigger person when I walked away instead of fighting for Cade. I was the bigger person when I didn't expose what she did to everyone who'd listen. I've been the bigger person for a year, Dad. And I'm done. My father's face fell. So, you'll let her be exiled? I'll let her face what she's earned. The same way I had to face what happened to me. That's cruel. That's justice, Draylen said, speaking for the first time. His voice was ice. Your daughter was publicly humiliated by her mate and her best friend. She survived it, rebuilt herself. And now you expect her to save the person who destroyed her? That's not mercy you're asking for. That's enabling. You don't understand pack bonds. I understand perfectly, Draylen interrupted. I understand that Stella made her choices, knowing the cost. And now she has to pay. Just like Quinera had to pay for Cade's choice. My father looked between us, desperate.
Please.
If not for Stella, then for me. I'm still Beta of Silver Creek. If Stella is exiled, it reflects on me. On our family.
On you.
I'm not part of Silver Creek anymore, I said quietly. I'm Crimson Shadow now. That's my pack. That's my family. You made your choice when you stood there and let Cade reject me without saying a word. When you let Stella take my mate and didn't defend me. You don't get to call me daughter now just because you need something. The words hit him like physical blows. Quinn. Get out, I said. Go back to Silver Creek. Tell Stella I hope she learns from this. But I'm not saving her. I'm not that girl anymore. My father left, defeated. And I stood there, shaking, trying to process everything. Stella was pregnant with another wolf's child. Stella, who'd taken my mate because the bond was too strong to resist, had been cheating on him the entire time. Everything she'd claimed about the bond being undeniable, about not being able to fight it, about having no choice, it was all a lie. She'd had a choice. And she'd chosen wrong. Multiple times. Are you alright? Draylen asked quietly. I don't know, I admitted. Part of me wants to gloat, wants to watch her lose everything the way I did. But another part still cares, he finished. Because she was your friend. And you're not cruel, no matter how much you pretend to be. He knew me too well. What do I do? What do you want to do?
I thought about it. Really thought about it.
And I realized something important. I want to talk to her. One last time. Not to save her. I'm not going to intervene with Cade. But maybe I need to understand why. Why she did it. Why she threw away everything for a mate bond she apparently didn't even want. That's very mature of you. Or very stupid. Sometimes they're the same thing, Draylen said with a slight smile. Do you want me to come with you?
No.
This is something I need to do alone. He kissed my forehead. Then go.
But Quinn?
Remember, you don't owe her anything. Not forgiveness, not understanding, not salvation. Whatever you decide to give her is a gift, not a debt. I know. I left the suite and went to find Stella. Chapter 14. I found Stella in her room, curled up on the bed, crying. She looked up when I entered, her face swollen with tears. Quinn, she breathed. You came. I didn't think. Your father said you wouldn't. I'm not here to help you, I said flatly. I'm here for answers. She flinched but nodded. Okay. I sat in the chair across from her bed, keeping distance between us. Why? I asked. Why did you cheat on Cade? Because the mate bond isn't what everyone says it is, Stella whispered. It's not perfect. It's not this beautiful, all-consuming love that makes everything right. It's a compulsion, Quinn. A need. But it's not actually love. What do you mean? I mean the bond made me obsessed with Cade. Made me need him physically, made me want to please him, made me feel incomplete without him. But it didn't make me happy. It didn't make me feel seen or understood or valued. It just made me dependent. She wiped her eyes, continuing. And I missed Rory. Missed how we used to be before the mate bond. How he actually listened to me, talked to me, cared about what I thought instead of just what I felt through the bond. So I went back to him. Even though I knew it was wrong. Even though I knew Cade would destroy me if he found out. You lied, I said. You told me the bond was too strong to resist. That you had no choice. I lied to you, Stella agreed. But I also lied to myself. Convinced myself that the mate bond meant Cade was perfect for me. That the moon goddess knew best. But the truth is, her voice broke. The truth is I threw away my best friend for a bond that felt more like a prison than a gift. And I'm so sorry, Quinn. I'm so sorry. I should have felt vindicated. Should have enjoyed watching her fall apart, watching her realize she destroyed everything for nothing. But I just felt tired. I'm not going to help you, I said quietly. I'm not going to talk to Cade or try to save you from exile. You made your choices. You have to live with them. I know, but I am going to tell you something. The mate bond, it's not love.
You're right about that.
Real love is choice. It's work. It's choosing someone every day, not because fate forces you to, but because you want to. I thought about Draylen, about the partnership we'd built without any bond forcing our hands. I have that now, I continued. With Draylen. He's not my fated mate. But he's my partner, my equal, my choice. And it's better than anything the moon goddess could have given me. Because I chose it. Stella looked at me, tears streaming down her face. I'm glad, she whispered. I'm glad you found happiness. Even though I don't deserve your happiness after what I did.
No.
You don't, I agreed. But I'm not happy to spite you. I'm just happy. And maybe someday, After you've paid for what you've done, you'll find your own happiness too. Just not with my help. I stood, heading for the door. Quinn. I paused, didn't turn around. I really am sorry. For all of it. You deserved better from me. Yes, I said. I did. And I left her there, crying alone in her hotel room. I felt lighter somehow. Like a weight I didn't know I was carrying had finally lifted. Stella's betrayal of Cade wasn't my concern. Her pregnancy wasn't my problem. Her exile wasn't my responsibility. I'd spent a year rebuilding myself from her choices. I wasn't going to destroy that progress by saving her now. Chapter 15. I was halfway back to my suite when I ran into Cade in the hallway. He looked wild. Desperate. Like he'd been searching for me.
Quinn.
Thank God. I need to talk to you. I already told you. Stella's pregnant, he interrupted. And the child isn't mine. So he knew. I'm aware. You knew. His voice rose with anger. You knew she was cheating and you didn't tell me? I found out 20 minutes ago. And even if I'd known for months, it's not my job to inform you about your mate's infidelity. She betrayed me, Cade said, his voice breaking. With Rory. For months. While I thought we had this perfect bond, she was unhappy, I finished. The mate bond wasn't enough for her. Apparently, it's not the magical solution everyone claims it is. This is your fault. The words hit like a slap. Excuse me? If you hadn't, if I'd chosen you like I was supposed to, none of this would have happened. Stella wouldn't have. Don't, I said, my voice dangerous. Don't you dare try to make me responsible for her choices. I didn't force you to reject me. I didn't force Stella to cheat. You both made your decisions. You both have to live with them. But I felt the mate bond with you first, Cade said desperately. Before Stella. When we met at the summit, that pull T was real, Quinn. I know you felt it too. My heart stopped. What? The bond manifested with you. That first day, when we saw each other. The pull, the recognition, the certainty. That was the mate bond. Real and true. But you said you told everyone it was just attraction. That I'd convinced myself. I lied, Cade said, and he looked shattered. The bond was with you. But then I met Stella, and it was stronger somehow. More intense. I didn't understand how I could feel bonds with two people, so I convinced myself the stronger one was the real one. I couldn't breathe. You knew, I whispered. You knew I was your fated mate, and you rejected me anyway. Because the bond with Stella was overwhelming, all-consuming. I thought the moon goddess was correcting a mistake. That maybe the first bond was false, and the second was real. And now I think they were both real, Cade said. I think the moon goddess gave me two mates. A true one and a false one. And I chose wrong. The world tilted. You're saying I was your true mate? And Stella was false. I'm saying I don't know anymore. All I know is I destroyed everything for a bond that wasn't even real. Stella never loved me. She loved Rory. And you, his voice cracked. You were right there. You loved me. Chose me. And I threw you away for someone who was just using me. Part of me wanted to scream at him. Wanted to rage at the unfairness of it all. But mostly I just felt sad. It doesn't matter now, I said quietly. True bond or false bond, you made your choice. You marked Stella. You claimed her as your mate. Whether she deserves it or not, she's yours now. I can reject her. Break the bond. And then what? Come crawling back to me? Expect me to take you back just because you finally realize I was the right choice. I'm your fated mate, Quinn. Doesn't that mean something? It means I wasted a year mourning a bond you destroyed, I said. It means you're a coward who chose the easy path over the right one. It means I'm glad I found Draylen, because at least he had the guts to choose me consciously instead of just following some mystical pull. You don't love Vexford, Cade said desperately. You can't. He's not your mate. I love him more than I ever loved you, I said, and realized it was true. Because what I have with Draylen is real. Built on respect and partnership and choice. Not on some bond that might be true or false or whatever convenient excuse you're using now. Quinn, please. No, I interrupted. You had your chance, Cade Thornwick. You had a year to realize you made a mistake. A year to come find me. A year to fight for me. But you only care now because Stella betrayed you. Because your perfect bond turned out to be a lie.
You don't actually want me.
You just want to not be alone. That's not true. Isn't it? If Stella hadn't cheated, would you be here? Would you be telling me I was your true mate? Or would you still be happily bonded to her, convincing yourself you'd made the right choice?
He didn't answer. Couldn't answer.
That's what I thought, I said softly. Go back to your mate, Cade. Figure out what you're going to do about her betrayal. But leave me out of it. I'm done being your backup plan. I walked away, leaving him standing in the hallway, looking lost. And this time, I didn't feel guilty.
Didn't feel sad.
Didn't feel anything except relief that I'd escaped a life with someone who only valued me when his first choice failed. When I got back to the suite, Draylen was waiting. He looked at my face and pulled me into his arms. What happened? Cade told me the truth. The mate bond. It was with me first. Real and true. He felt it. He just chose Stella anyway because her bond felt stronger. Draylen went very still. He knew you were his mate and rejected you anyway? Yes. And now he wants you back because Stella cheated on him? Yes. Draylen pulled back, his silver eyes blazing with fury. I'm going to kill him. No, you're not. I'm absolutely going to. Draylen. I cupped his face, forcing him to look at me. He's not worth it. He's a coward who made a choice and has to live with it. Just like I had to. But I survived. I'm here. With you. And I don't want to waste another second of my life thinking about Cade Thornwick. He hurt you. Deliberately. Knowing you were his mate.
He did.
And it destroyed me. But you know what? I'm glad. Draylen blinked, surprised. What? I'm glad he rejected me. Because if he hadn't, I'd be stuck in Seattle right now, mated to someone who only chose me because fate forced his hand. I'd never have met you. Never have become Luna of Crimson Shadow. Never have discovered I could be more than just someone's mate. I pressed my forehead to his. You saved me, Draylen. Not because you had to. Not because some bond forced you to. But because you chose to. And that means more than any fated mate bond ever could. You really mean that? I really do. So please, let this go. Let Cade deal with his own mess.
Come home with me.
Back to New York. Back to our pack. Back to the life we built together. That's what matters now. Not the past. Not what could have been. Just what is. Draylen searched my eyes for a long moment. Then he nodded slowly. Okay, we'll go home. But Quinn? If he comes near you again, if he tries to claim you or manipulate you or hurt you in any way, I won't be reasonable. Fair enough. He kissed me then, deep and claiming and full of promise. And I kissed him back, pouring everything I felt into it. Gratitude, respect, trust, and something that felt suspiciously like love. When we pulled apart, he was smiling. You know, he said, we could make this official. Complete a mating ceremony. Not because of a bond, but because we want to. Because we choose each other. Are you asking me to marry you, Draylen Vexford? I'm asking you to be my mate. My chosen mate. My partner in all things, for as long as we both shall live. No fate, no bonds, no moon goddess forcing our hands. Just you and me, making a conscious decision to build a life together. My throat tightened with emotion. That's the most romantic thing anyone's ever said to me. Is that a yes? That's a yes, I whispered. Yes, I'll be your mate. I'll choose you every day for the rest of my life. Because you're the best choice I ever made. He swept me up in his arms, spinning me around, and I laughed, really laughed for the first time since arriving in Seattle.
This was what happiness felt like.
Not the desperate, consuming need of a mate bond. But the quiet, steady certainty of choosing someone and being chosen back. Chapter 16. The closing ceremony was the next morning. The final event where alpha announcements were made, alliances confirmed, and the summit officially ended. I dressed carefully. A deep crimson dress that matched my pack colors, my hair swept up, the Luna pendant Draylen had given me gleaming at my throat. I looked like a queen. I felt like one too. Draylen wore a black suit that made him look dangerous and powerful. We walked into the council chamber together, and every head turned. Alpha Vex Ford, Luna Quinera. Aldrich greeted us warmly. We're honored by your continued presence. I understand congratulations are in order? Word travels fast among the packs. Thank you, Draylen said smoothly. Luna Quinera has agreed to complete our mating ceremony. We'll be holding it in New York next month. All allied packs are invited. More congratulations, more well wishes. We took our seats, and I tried not to look at where Cade sat with Stella. Stella looked terrible, pale, shaking, clearly terrified. Cade looked carved from stone, his expression completely blank. The ceremony began. Aldrich made announcements about territory disputes resolved, alliances formed, matters settled. Then he said, I understand Alpha Thornwick has an announcement to make regarding his mate bond. The room went silent. Cade stood slowly, his movements stiff. He didn't look at Stella. Cade Thornwick, Alpha of Emerald Moon Pack, am invoking the right of dissolution based on mate bond betrayal. Gasps rippled through the chamber. Stella Markov has been unfaithful to our bond, has carried another wolf's child while marked as my mate. Therefore, under pack law, I am dissolving our bond and casting her from pack protection. Stella made a sound like a wounded animal. Cade, please. You are exiled, Cade continued, his voice flat. Effective immediately. You will leave Emerald Moon territory within 24 hours. If you return, you will be treated as a rogue and dealt with accordingly. He sat down.
Just like that.
No emotion, no hesitation. And I realized this was exactly what he'd done to me. Public rejection in front of the council. Humiliation witnessed by everyone who mattered. Karma wasn't just real. It was poetic. Stella was escorted from the chamber by pack warriors, crying hysterically. My father tried to follow, but Cade stopped him with a look. The ceremony continued like nothing had happened. Because in the world of pack politics, this was normal. Expected. Justice served according to wolf law. But I couldn't help feeling a twinge of pity. Not enough to help her, but enough to recognize that watching her fall hurt less than I'd expected. Maybe I really had moved on. After the ceremony ended, packs began dispersing, returning to their territories. Draylen and I were preparing to leave when Cade approached one last time. Quinn, he said quietly, before you go, I need to say something. Make it quick. I was wrong. About everything. You were my true mate. I felt it, knew it, and chose wrong anyway. And I'm sorry. Not because I want you back, I know that ship has sailed. But because you deserved better from me. Deserved honesty and respect and loyalty. And I gave you none of those things. I studied him. He looked sincere.
Broken. Lost.
Thank you, I said simply, for the apology, and for letting me go. Are you happy? With Vex Ford. I'm happy with Draylen, I corrected.
And yes,
I am. Happier than I ever could have been with you. Because he chose me. Not the bond, not fate, not because I was convenient.
Me.
And that's worth more than any fated mate bond could ever be. I hope someday I find what you have. I hope so too. But Cade, next time you meet someone who loves you, choose them. Don't wait for the bond to force your hand. Don't compare them to someone else. Just choose them. Consciously, deliberately, permanently. That's what real love looks like. He nodded slowly. Goodbye, Quinera. Goodbye, Cade. I walked away with Draylen beside me, leaving my past in Seattle where it belonged. Chapter 17. 1 month later, New York City. The Crimson Shadow Pack house was decorated in silver and crimson, packed with wolves from across the country. Every allied alpha had come, along with their packs, their families, their warriors. This wasn't just a mating ceremony. It was a statement. I stood in my room, looking at myself in the mirror. The dress was custom-made, deep crimson silk that hugged my body, silver embroidery that caught the light like moonbeams. My hair was swept up in an intricate style, woven with silver threads. I looked like a Luna. I felt like a queen. Ready. My father stood in the doorway. We'd reconciled somewhat after Seattle. Not fully, the wounds were too deep for that. But enough that when I asked him to walk me down the aisle, he'd said yes. Ready, I confirmed. He offered his arm. I took it. I'm proud of you, he said quietly as we walked. For surviving what happened. For building something better. For becoming more than I ever imagined you could be. Thank you, Dad. And I'm sorry. For not defending you when Cade rejected you. For asking you to save Stella. For prioritizing pack politics over your well-being. I failed you as a father. But I'm grateful you gave me another chance. Everyone deserves a second chance, I said. As long as they earn it. We reached the ceremony hall. The doors opened, and I saw hundreds of wolves standing, all turning to watch me enter. And at the end of the aisle stood Draylen. He wore a black suit with crimson accents, his silver eyes fixed on me with an intensity that made my breath catch. He looked powerful, dangerous, and completely devoted. My father walked me down the aisle, placed my hand in Draylen's, and stepped back. Aldrich, officiating despite being from the Western Territories, smiled at us both. We gathered today to witness something rare. A chosen mating. Alpha Draylen Vexford of Crimson Shadow and Luna Quinera Stornell Vexford have elected to bond not because fate demands it, but because they choose it. Because they've built a partnership strong enough to sustain a lifetime. He looked at Draylen. Do you, Draylen Vexford, choose Quinera as your mate? Not because of a bond, but because of who she is? Do you promise to stand beside her as an equal, to respect her choices, to build a life of mutual partnership and trust? I do, Draylen said, his voice carrying through the hall. I choose Quinera. Today, tomorrow, and every day after. Not because I have to, but because I want to. Because she's the strongest, bravest, most extraordinary wolf I've ever known. Because my life is better with her in it. Because I love her. The last 3 words hit me like a physical force. He'd never said them before. We'd built our relationship on respect and partnership, never mentioning love. But hearing it now, in front of everyone who mattered, felt like a gift. Aldrich turned to me. Do you, Quinera Stornell Vexford, choose Draylen as your mate? Not because of a bond, but because of who he is? Do you promise to stand beside him as an equal, to respect his choices, to build a life of mutual partnership and trust? I do, I said, my voice steady despite the emotion threatening to overwhelm me. I choose Draylen. Not because fate forced my hand, but because he saw value in me when I had none to offer. Because he taught me to be strong. Because he gave me a place to belong without demanding I become someone else. Because he chose me first. And because I love him too. Draylen's expression transformed, surprise, joy, fierce possessiveness all flickering across his face. Then by the power vested in me by the Alpha Council, Aldrich said, I declare you chosen mates. You may seal your bond. Draylen pulled me close, and when he kissed me, the entire hall erupted in cheers. But I barely heard them. All I felt was him, solid and real and mine by choice, not fate. When we pulled apart, he whispered against my lips, I love you. I have for months. Was just waiting for the right moment to say it. I love you too, I whispered back. Thank you for choosing me. Thank you for choosing me back. We turned to face our pack, our allies, our friends. And they roared their approval, not because we were fated, but because we'd proven that choice could be stronger than destiny. I'm standing on the balcony of the Crimson Shadow Pack house, watching the sun set over Manhattan. The city lights are just beginning to flicker on, painting the skyline in gold and amber. Draylen joins me, wrapping his arms around my waist, resting his chin on my shoulder. "What are you thinking about?" he asks. "How different my life is now. How 2 years ago I was standing in the rain in Seattle, broken and rejected, thinking my life was over. And now." I gesture to the city, to the life we've built. Now I'm here,
With you.
running one of the most powerful packs in the country. Happy. Do you ever regret it? Choosing me over the mate bond? Not even once. I say honestly. The mate bond would have tied me to someone who didn't choose me, who only wanted me because fate said he should. What I have with you, it's real. Built on trust and respect and genuine love. That's worth more than any bond. Good, he says, pulling me closer. Because I don't plan on letting you go. Not even if the moon goddess herself appeared and told you I was fated to someone else. Not even then. You're mine, Quinn. Not because of fate or bonds or destiny, but because we chose each other. And I don't care what the moon goddess thinks about it. I laugh, turning in his arms to face him. You know, I heard Cade found a new mate. A chosen one. Apparently, he learned his lesson about following bonds blindly. Good for him. I hope he's happy. Really? You're not even a little smug. Maybe a little, Draylen admits with a smile. But mostly I just don't care. He's your past. I'm your present and future. Why would I waste energy being smug about something that's already over? And Stella? Last I heard, she's living in the Rogue Lands, raising her child alone. He pauses. It's sad, but it's what she earned. Do you think I should have helped her? When my father asked, do you? I think about it. Really think about it. No, I say finally. She made her choices. She had to face the consequences. Just like I did. That's not cruelty. That's fairness.
Exactly.
You're not responsible for saving people from their own decisions. You're only responsible for making good ones yourself. And have I made good decisions? Draylen cups my face, his silver eyes soft with affection. You chose me.
So yes.
Absolutely. I kiss him, pouring everything I feel into it. Gratitude for saving me. Respect for treating me as an equal. Love for choosing me every single day. When we pull apart, he's smiling. That rare, genuine smile he only shows me. Come on, he says. The pack's waiting. We have that new Omega integration program to launch. The one where we're hiring wolves from other packs who want opportunities. That's the one. Your idea, by the way, which is going to revolutionize how packs handle Omegas across the country. Our idea. I correct. We built it together. Fair enough. But you're the one who pushed for it. Who convinced the council it was worth the investment. You're changing the wolf world, Quinn. Making it better. We're changing it. Together. He takes my hand, lacing his fingers through mine. Together, he agrees. We walk back inside, toward our pack, toward the work we've built, toward the future we're creating. And I realize something important. Rejection was the best thing that ever happened to me. Not because I'm petty enough to enjoy watching my rejecta suffer, though I won't lie, there's a small satisfaction in knowing Cade regrets his choice. But because it forced me to rebuild myself. To discover I could be more than just someone's mate. To find a partner who chose me consciously instead of being forced by fate. I'm not the broken girl who stood in the rain 2 years ago. I'm Luna Quinera Stornelvexford, co-alpha of Crimson Shadow, revolutionary,
Queen.
And I chose this life. Every single part of it. That's the real victory. Not revenge, not vindication, not watching my rejecter realize his mistake. Just choosing myself, choosing my partner, choosing happiness over fate, and living with those choices every single day, knowing they're mine. Author's note. They say the mate bond is sacred, unbreakable, the moon goddess's greatest gift. But what if the greatest gift isn't fate? What if it's choice? This is a story about a woman who lost everything. Her mate, her best friend, her dignity, and rebuilt herself into something stronger, something better, something that couldn't be broken by rejection because she learned her worth didn't come from someone else choosing her. It came from choosing herself. Kinara's journey isn't about revenge. It's about transformation. It's about discovering that sometimes the cruelest thing that happens to you is actually the universe pushing you toward where you're supposed to be. Draylen didn't save her because of a bond. He saw potential in a broken wolf and gave her the tools to rebuild herself. And in doing so, they built something rare, a partnership based on respect, trust, and genuine choice. That's the real romance. Not the fireworks of a mate bond, but the steady warmth of choosing someone every single day, of building a life together brick by brick, decision by decision, moment by moment. So if you're reading this and you've been rejected, betrayed, overlooked, or thrown away, know this. You are not broken. You are not less than. You are not defined by someone else's failure to see your worth. You are a queen in the making. You just need to choose to become her. And when you do, when you finally stand in your power, own your choices, and refuse to accept anything less than you deserve, that's when you'll find what Quinera found. Not a mate bond. Something better. Yourself.